finger hold. The rest will just come off, at least one side it will. But then again, it's always good to have the jimmy bar in there for good measure. But no, like I was saying before, I probably should have put this nubby little guy on the back first. But being that the slick backs came, and you know, Amazon Prime, man, that thing's theirs the next day, right? I needed to get back on the road again, so I thought it would look cool having the slick back on the back and have it, you know, the nubby one on front. Kind of makes it look like more of a motorcycle. That makes any sense? But yeah, since we got it pretty much all the way, quarters of the way, let's go ahead and put some grab into it. But no, repairs aren't really out of my wheelhouse. I kind of actually am fond of it, because it's kind of like the feeling that you get after you fix your stuff. It's pretty decent accomplishment, you know. It's a pretty good feeling. Oh, this mother really made a good bead on there too. And the thing is that this doesn't, I mean, it shares the same thing in common that you would find on a bicycle, except these rims are a little fatter. And I think that's what I like, you know, that I find more appealing about the e-bike, is that the tires on it are a bit fat. Only con about that is no longer can hitch a ride on the city bike, because they're the forks that hold the bicycles on the front of the bus are only there to occupy the function of a skinnier tire. These tires are too fat. But if I did have to take it like Greyhound style, I think I'd be cool with that, because it collapses as well. It's the folding model. All right, with the rear tire, with the front tire taken off, let's put this rhino skin knobby on the back and start to make the exchange. So we can call this video a Rapski, because the clouds are coming in, and you know, Florida, it's bound to rain. When, well, summertime you can pretty much set your watch to it. Winter is kind of like a crapshoot. And unlike summer rain, winter rain's cold. All right, let's get this rear one on, while minding the front one. Make sure it stays on there so it don't get scarred. All right, lining up the holes with the rear one. I hope I have better luck this time, because the road that I happen to travel on, it's like it feels like they hardly ever sweep it. So I'm always playing like a constant game of asteroids whenever I'm driving on it. Okay, hold that into place. Make sure the stem is true. Try to get as much as you can with a partial, because most of this will go back into place. But keeping the stem true and keeping it where whenever you air it up, you don't have any offsets in the bead. Okay, that one's set up. Matter of fact, we'll actually air these tires with it off of the frame to ensure that they set right with the bead. So I'm setting the tire off camera so it don't get scarred or bonked. Okay, the front one I might be able to do in view. Hey, I rhymed that time. Okay, now that being said, let's bust open the oh crap, did I forget the air pump? I sure did. I'll be right back. Alright. Black again. Okay. With the new tube procured, let's get it pumped a little bit so it can come to form. That way it'll set in the tire a little better. Always make sure to emphasize on shop safety that you have your gloves so nobody gets hurt. When ordering the part, always check and double check the specifications and or sizes and dimensions, because you don't want to really get something, because seeing these people buying stuff off of Wish, man, and when they get it and it comes there, it ends up coming there, it's like 10 times smaller than what the actual gimmick was. So always make sure the specs are right. Okay. That being said, when you're pumping these up, make sure you don't put too much in it. You just need it to come to form enough to where it'll sit in the tire. Or at least that's how I do it. Other people might try to tell you another way. That's the way I've always been showed how to do it, to where it's like, you know, come to form, to where it'll hold. Alright, now locate the directional arrow on your tire, because that's important as well. You always want to set these things in the direction posted. Okay, let's get this guy in there. And you know, now that I think about it, with the knobby one on the back, I think I'll have better control in sand and dirt too, because that thing does have a tendency to want to kick out and slide whenever I have that one riding in the back. And I think that's mainly because it's on the drive wheel, but hopefully this will solve that problem as well. Okay, that's in there. I didn't see any burrs or felt any obstructions, although let's double check. You can never be too safe with a cheap tire. Alright. Since a gloved hand pretty much doubles up as a cloth hand, you know, makeshift, let's go ahead and run the bottom of our hand through the rim and feel for pointy things. And also observe it as well while we do that. Not only when it does that, it kind of acts as like a, you know, you can feel it, but it actually also acts as like a way to clean it as well. I felt none pointing. I didn't see any obstructions. I am looking at the glass hole where the insertion is. Normally, rule of thumb, if they were doing this professionally, they either tell you to 86 the tire, or they'd put you a scab piece of rubber in on the inside. Or at least I've seen that's how them boys do it over in New Delhi. They'll melt the rubber and sear that onto it. And, you know, I've even seen videos of these people reconstructing old tires with metal thread and hot vulcanized rubber. Yeah, it's insane, but it, you know, it makes for an informative watch. Let's just put it that way. All right, now that we've inspected the tire and noticed that there's no failings or any hazards, let's go ahead and put it in and get this thing on the rim. All right, same method as we did the rear one. Let's get this out the way so we don't knock anything. Holy crap, where'd my music go? I think it cut out on us. Oh, here we go. Knows I can't play without no guitar screen there, nephew. All right. Love that cartoon. All right, let's like we did the first one, let's make sure the post is in there nice and center before we get it all cinched up. tooted and booted. Unlike de-rimming these things, putting them on the rim is actually a tad bit easier. But the crux of that situation is airing them up, and when you air them up, you got to make sure they air up on the bead, or you'll get a case of wobble tire. Now, wobble tire will over time settle, especially like, well, you know, with me, maybe not so much, because I like to run optimal air in my tires. I actually like to have, I'll look on the tire, right, and say like it's a, say if it's like a 32 psi, I'm gonna exactly inflate that mother to 32 psi, at least the rear one. Now the front one, I actually leave it just a little bit. I actually like only put 28 in that one, so I think the front one will be safe on this one. Besides, the front one you don't really have to worry about because it ain't really doing any of the work. It's the rear wheel that you have to worry about the wobbles with. So now that we got this on the rim, let's go ahead and get some air applied to these bad boys. What do you say? Okay. I might need to top off my soda here in a little bit too. Let's go ahead and start with the front one first. I think we're